Honestly, if I was sitting here telling you that you could have expected a cutscene from Far From Home that included Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr., reprising his role, you probably wouldn't be surprised. You'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. And as it turns out, it was considered, and various other cameos were considered, and ultimately they didn't make it in. So now that most of us have seen Far From Home, you know that Tony Stark's presence is definitely felt throughout the entire film. Or at least the first half, up until the mentor role switches to Mysterio, then it's not really there. It's, you know, how the film treats it. But very early on, we get the ramifications of everything that happened in Endgame, and that through line of him being a mentor. Now, as it turns out, the writers and John Watts, the director, recently talked about Tony Stark's influence on everything in the MCU, and specifically on Peter's life and going forward. And as it turns out, they actually did consider having stock footage of more Tony Stark, or having Robert Downey Jr. reprise his role in some way, whether it was a voiceover or a physical appearance or flashback in some way, and ultimately they decided against this. And to me, I think this was the best possible choice. If the whole point of the film is him moving on, becoming his own hero, realizing he doesn't have to be the new Iron Man, the world doesn't need a new Iron Man, and that Iron Man's time has come and gone, and now the world's gotta like move past it. Having Iron Man make a physical appearance just doesn't seem right. It's like, okay, you're still hanging on to the past, and that's what the movie's about. It's about moving past the past to the future. And this kind of would have been a little jarring. Now, if they used some sort of old clip or something, that probably could have worked. I mean, they already had pictures of Tony in there, so, you know, it could have went along with that. And at the same time, if they would have done some sort of like, let's say, voiceover, apparently Edith was gonna have something in there, even then, it still would have been kind of a little too cheap and on the nose. It's like, oh, kid, I know I said I left you a message. I left you another message. You know, it's kind of just like cheap tactics. And ultimately, if they want to bring back Robert Downey Jr., probably would have cost him like another $10 to $20 million for like 5 minutes. Yeah, and he probably made the right choice not to do that and just move past that. So who knows what could have been, but I'm glad they didn't go down that route.